So yeah, I'm doing laundry. Just texted you. I'm gonna upload this to my YouTube channel, but I'm not gonna make it public. So it's just for you. But yeah, I wanted to tell you about this dream I had about a month ago. I've been meaning to. I was gonna upload it, but certain things are not for everybody. So anyway, the dream starts out where, and this is very vivid. This is this is this isn't a dream you'll ever forget. So clearly, and then there's a lot of studies on dreams, and that they mean things, but whatever. This definitely meant something because of what happened. But so it starts out that I can't remember the very beginning of it, but I think I was hitchhiking because I'd gotten a ride somehow. I can't remember how it happened, and it was a freeway that I'd gotten into this big boat, older vehicle, he was a real big guy, not, like super fat, but he was just a big man, right? He was driving a huge car, big old boat, I can't remember what it was, with a boat behind it. Older 70s speedboat type thing. And over the course of not long, he, picked up speed and started driving really erratically. I mean, both lanes, and the boat was whipping back and forth, and I was freaking out, and I was like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom, or something to that effect. Can't remember exactly what I said either, but we pulled off and pulled into a gas station, and when he walked into the store, I dipped. There was an apartment complex through the gas, or the convenience gas station parking lot, into another big parking lot with a big huge building with a whole bunch of, I think it was 3 stories of apartments, right? So I was headed over that direction. I seen somebody standing over there. So I walk up and talk to this guy, and he looks to me to believe, I believe he is Native American, right? Long hair, just past the shoulders, skinny, probably, I don't know, 5'11", maybe 6 foot, but pretty thin, in shape, if you will. So somehow I ended up talking to him, and then this is where it gets completely, everything is remembered at this point. And he takes me up to the 2nd floor to an apartment, and goes in the apartment. He says, tells me to follow him, come check this out. So I go with him. We go into the door in the apartment, and it looks really like it's never been used, or like it, was fully cleaned. Just going through the straight away to the back. There was a back door with a balcony on the back. Oh, we got a crazy over here yelling. Holy shit. So we go through this apartment, and he says something to somebody, like we're coming through or something like that, but I see nobody. I heard nothing, see nobody. And like I said, everything was spotless. It was old furniture, like 70s furniture. So we go through and walk out the back onto the back deck, and there's a hillside there, and it has it's really green, like you'd find in Washington, where everything's moist. I love that word. But it was really moist, right? And dark, rich soil, right? Bunch of that, that vine leaf shit with trees. But there was a spot in the middle of this, not far from the patio. The hill was really steep behind the apartment complex, or whatever the place was. And there's a bunch of holes punched into the earth, right? Starts off with, I only remember two, and then 3, then 4, 5, 6, and it went up the hill, right? And he grabbed one of these, looks like one of these these balls that you use in croquet, right? But I really can't remember what they look like, so I can't even say that. All I know is they're about that size. And he throws it somewhere on into the 1 through or 2 through whatever. And I can't remember whether he made it or not, but he told me to try it, right? I was like, all right. So, but the holes that were punched, right, in the earth were like, they were so fresh, you know what I mean? It was really earthy, you know what I mean? Like it'd never been played on before, you know what I mean? There's no dents there. They were so cylindrically perfect. So I grab one of the balls that were sitting in a little crate by the edge of by the balcony. And I went to throw it, and I didn't even I just barely got it over the ledge and I fumbled it and dropped it, didn't even get nowhere near what I was trying to do. I'm like, wow, that's weird, because I'm really athletic. That was horrible. So, I didn't even get it out of my hand. So I grabbed another one, right? And I threw it at the 2 holes, the closest to me on the bottom side of the hill there. And I missed, and when that happened, when I missed, he was behind me, and he put his arm around my forehead. Like, he was on my left side. He put his right arm around on the top of my forehead, like, with his elbow sticking where my forehead would be, right? And I wasn't like alarmed about it, because when he stuck his arm around my head like that, and he leaned my head back, and he put his mouth by my left ear, and he said a long word that's not English. And I don't know what it was. I still can't remember. I've been trying my ass off to remember, and I can't remember. And, I can get the kind of the length and the sound of it out a little bit, but I can't get anything. I just wish I could remember what it was. But so when he said that into my ear, and this was like in a mystical, well, not mystical, but a, lower, not whisper, but not loud either, but very commanding voice, said this word into my ear, and reached with his left hand up and had I don't know what it was, but he stuck something pen-like or syringe-like in my left nostril when he pulled my head back, and I didn't have any resistance to this, but I was curious as why, what's happening, and then as soon as it got in there, like 2.5, 3 inches, I could start feeling the pressure of it going, which to my mind would have been further, right? And I grabbed a hold of his wrist. Well, I grabbed a hold of his wrist immediately, but I couldn't stop him from, going in. It was slow. It wasn't fast. And, he was keeping on moving, at a normal pace, but it wasn't like fast. It was just consistent. And when it got to where I knew it had to be going further than my nostrils, I used everything I had to yank his hand away from me. Well, and then I woke up. As soon as that happened, as soon as I got it out of my nose, I woke up. And yeah, I've been trying to figure that dream out. But it was very vivid. And all I can think of is like moving on from this fear-based, life. Because first thing was like in crazy amount of fear, and, like you're being drugged down something you can't control, you know what I mean? You're in a car, somebody driving like they're going to kill you, you know what I mean? But the super sense of fear, getting out of that, and then passing through 2 sets of doors. And I don't know what this game on the side of the hill meant, but, it's definitely significant. There's got to be a message in this. So, but it's really deep. But, I'm pretty sure that at this time, I was, this is when I was moving into the pineal gland. and the kundalini, the chakra, that the fluid that releases at the base of your spine. I mean, this is all, this is all reality. This is proof. There's proof of it. I mean, the fluid is in there. They know this, so it's not, this isn't somebody guessing, but this is real and it happens. And so, and I had been trying to get my pineal gland to open through a vibration frequency and stuff. So, and meditation. So, well, I've been meditating at work for, like I said, 2,700 hours over the last, 10 months. Pretty solid every day, so. But anyway, weird. So I just thought I'd let you know, maybe you have an idea. What does this mean, But yeah, definitely going into the center of the forehead, behind the forehead. So, I mean, I kind of get what it could be in that sense, if that's what it's about. But I mean, man, I wish I could remember the word. That could totally, that would give it away. Why has it got to be so hard, Say what you mean what you say. But anyway, all right, I'm jumping off. I just thought I'd let you hear that. Trip.